Greenland, the gateway to the Arctic and the new target of global superpowers. Greenland, the world's largest island, operating as an autonomous territory of Denmark, is now gaining attention not only for its Arctic beauty, but also for its increasing political and geopolitical tensions. Due to climate change, Greenland is becoming more prominent on the global political map, as the melting ice cap opens new economic and strategic opportunities for the world's superpowers. Political and geopolitical situation. The superpowers battle for the island. Greenland is officially an autonomous territory of Denmark, but a growing independence movement is emerging. The Greenlandic government is increasingly seeking control over its own resources, while Denmark continues to provide financial support to the region. Meanwhile, global superpowers like the USA, China, and Russia are showing greater interest in Greenland. There are several reasons for this. Strategic location, a key point on the global chessboard. Greenland is not just a remote, ice-covered landmass. It is a strategic military location with immense global importance. Thule Air Base, America's northern shield. The United States established Thule Air Base in 1943, making it the northernmost military base in the world. It plays a crucial role in the U.S. missile defense system, monitoring potential missile threats from Russia and other adversaries. Its location makes Greenland a key component of America's defensive network. The militarization of the Arctic. During the Cold War, the Arctic was a crucial battlefield between the USA and the Soviet Union. Now, with Russia increasing its military presence in the region, NATO and the USA are considering Greenland as an essential stronghold. Russia has built new Arctic military bases and deployed advanced weapons systems, strengthening its control over the region. The US is investing heavily in military operations in Greenland to counteract growing Chinese and Russian influence. Tensions between Denmark and Greenland. Although Greenland remains under Danish sovereignty, political tensions are rising. Greenlandic leaders want more economic independence, particularly regarding natural resources, but Denmark and the US complicate the situation by maintaining military influence and strategic control. Natural resources. The battle for Greenland's hidden treasures. As climate change melts the Arctic ice, Greenland is increasingly becoming a battleground for global resource exploitation. The retreating ice sheets are revealing massive deposits of valuable minerals and fossil fuels, which offer enormous economic potential. Rare earth minerals, the key to modern technology. Greenland has vast reserves of rare earth minerals, essential for producing electronics, batteries, and advanced military technology. China currently dominates 80% of the world's rare earth production and wants to secure access to Greenland's deposits. The US and the EU are working to break China's monopoly by supporting Greenland as an alternative supplier. Oil and gas, the new Arctic gold rush. The Arctic region holds an estimated 13% of the world's undiscovered oil reserves and 30% of its natural gas deposits. Russia has already begun exploiting Arctic oil and gas, while Greenland and Denmark remain cautious. China is heavily interested in Greenland's oil extraction and wants to play a role in infrastructure development. Danish-Greenlandic conflict over resources. Greenland's leaders want to take control of economic decision-making, using natural resource revenues for economic growth. However, Denmark fears increasing foreign influence, particularly from China, and does not want to lose control over the island's wealth. US influence versus China's expansion. Who will control Greenland? Greenland has become a battleground for superpower rivalry, with the USA and China competing for dominance. US interests in Greenland. In 2019, Donald Trump proposed buying Greenland, shocking both the Danish and Greenlandic governments, who rejected the offer. The US seeks to expand its military and economic presence to counter Chinese and Russian activities. American military bases are being modernized, ensuring strategic dominance in the Arctic. China's expanding influence. China is investing in Greenland's mining industry, aiming to control rare earth metal production. Beijing considers Greenland a key location for Arctic trade routes, as melting ice opens new shipping lanes. Chinese companies have tried to finance major infrastructure projects, but Denmark and the US have blocked them. Climate change. The melting ice and new Arctic trade routes. The rapid melting of the Arctic ice is reshaping global trade routes, allowing new shipping lanes to open through the Arctic Ocean. This means shorter transport times between Asia, Europe, and North America, creating economic and strategic advantages. Greenland could become a key Arctic logistics hub, with China particularly interested in controlling these new routes. What's next for Greenland? The future uncertain. Greenland's future remains uncertain. The island could become independent from Denmark or turn into a battleground between global superpowers such as the USA, China, and Russia. As climate change accelerates, Greenland's economic potential is increasing, but its natural environment is also under threat. The next few years will be critical. Will Greenland achieve full independence, or will it be absorbed into the sphere of influence of a major power? Can it protect its resources while ensuring economic growth? How will it manage the balance between environmental protection and economic development? One thing is certain. The world's attention is increasingly focused on this cold yet fascinating land. U versus the US-China battle for influence in Greenland. Donald Trump's offer. Buying Greenland? In 2019, former US President Donald Trump suggested that the US should purchase Greenland from Denmark, an idea that was immediately rejected by both Danish and Greenlandic leaders. While many found the offer absurd from a strategic perspective, it would have been a logical move for American interests in the Arctic. China's silent expansion. China is taking a long-term approach to gain influence in Greenland, investing in mining to secure access to valuable rare earth metals, financing infrastructure projects to establish an economic presence, seeking political influence, hoping Greenland will gain full independence from Denmark and become more open to Chinese partnerships. The US is closely monitoring China's ambitions, and in response, Washington has increased economic and military support for Greenland to solidify American influence in the region. Climate change and new shipping routes. Greenland's economic rise? As the Arctic ice melts, a new shipping route is emerging, making Greenland increasingly important for global trade. Instead of relying on traditional trade routes like the Suez Canal and Panama Canal, Arctic passages could allow faster transportation between China, Europe, the US, and Russia. Russia is already developing its northern sea route and expanding its fleet of icebreakers. Greenland's ports could become major logistical hubs if the right infrastructure is developed. The question remains, can Greenland control its own future, or will it become a battleground for global superpowers? What lies ahead for Greenland? A new world order on the horizon. Greenland is now at a historic turning point. The coming decades will shape its political, economic, and environmental future. Will Greenland achieve full independence from Denmark and forge its own path? Or will it eventually fall under the influence of a global superpower? The melting ice sheets, increasingly valuable resources, and global power struggles will all play a crucial role in the fate of one of the world's largest and most untouched territories. The independence movement. Is Greenland's time coming? Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, but local political leaders are pushing for greater independence. While Greenland has had broad self-governance since 1979 and its own government since 2009, the question of full independence remains highly debated. A divided population. Some Greenlanders support full independence, while others fear the economic challenges that could arise. Financial dependence on Denmark. Currently, Denmark provides around 60% of Greenland's annual budget. If Greenland became independent, it would need alternative revenue sources, such as mining, oil extraction, and tourism. NATO's military presence. If Greenland became independent, what would happen to US and NATO military bases? This could create new geopolitical conflicts in the Arctic. The battle of superpowers. Who will claim Greenland's riches? As global attention shifts toward Greenland, the island's strategic position and natural resources make it a major economic and military asset. The US, China, and Russia are all competing for influence, and Greenland may become one of the most important geopolitical hotspots of the coming decades. The US, loyal ally or new colonial power? The United States has maintained a presence in Greenland for decades, and Washington is determined not to lose its strategic advantage. Thule Air Base is one of the most important US military installations in the Arctic, monitoring the region for security threats. Trump's 2019 Greenland purchase offer may have seemed absurd, but it highlighted America's long-term strategic interests. Increased American investments. The US is strengthening economic ties with Greenland to counter China's growing influence. China's Arctic ambitions. Expanding influence in Greenland? China is investing in Greenland's mining industry, aiming to dominate rare earth metal production. Beijing sees Greenland as a key location for future Arctic trade routes, with melting ice opening up faster shipping lanes. Chinese companies have attempted to fund large infrastructure projects, but both Denmark and the US have blocked them. As Greenland's ice melts and its economy grows, the island stands at the crossroads of history. Will it become an independent nation, a key player in global trade, or a territory controlled by competing superpowers? Only time will tell. China, the silent expander. China is leveraging its economic power to gain control over Greenland's rare earth metals and other natural resources. Mining investments. Chinese companies have already submitted applications to open rare earth and uranium mines in Greenland. Infrastructure development. China is willing to invest in ports and airports, ensuring a long-term presence on the island. Political influence. If Greenland gains independence, China could be one of the first major powers to provide economic support through investments and trade agreements. Russia, the new Arctic power? Russia is rapidly expanding its military presence in the Arctic and keeping a close watch on Greenland. New military bases. Russia is constructing new Arctic military installations to strengthen its strategic position. Developing Arctic shipping routes. Greenland could become a key stop along Russia's new Northern Sea route, providing faster access between Europe and Asia. Climate change opens a new chapter for Greenland as global warming accelerates ice melting. Greenland is experiencing both new opportunities and serious challenges. Economic growth opportunities. New land for agriculture. As the ice retreats, Greenlanders could establish self-sustaining agriculture. Expansion of fishing and maritime trade. Longer ice-free seasons will boost fishing industries and sea trade. Tourism boom. Greenland could become a major Arctic tourism destination, attracting adventure travelers worldwide. Threats to nature and traditional life. The traditional Inuit way of life is under threat as hunting and fishing conditions change. Native wildlife is at risk, including polar bears and narwhals, as their habitats disappear. Ancient methane reserves trapped under ice could be released, accelerating global warming even further. What will happen to Greenland? The key question: will Greenland become independent? If so, which military and economic alliances will it form? Can Greenland survive without Danish and EU financial support? Will it fall under the influence of another superpower, such as the US or China? Who will control Greenland's natural resources? Will local leaders be able to manage resource extraction? Or will foreign powers exploit the island's wealth? How will mining and oil drilling impact the environment and indigenous communities? How will climate change affect the region? Will Greenland's economic rise come at the cost of environmental destruction? How will new Arctic shipping routes and trade opportunities shape the island's future? One thing is certain: Greenland is no longer just an isolated, icy landmass. It is now a key player in global geopolitics. The world's eyes are on this frozen yet incredibly valuable territory. A wild, icy world. The natural wonder of Greenland. Greenland is not just fascinating due to politics and economic interests, but also because of its breathtaking natural beauty. With 80% of the island covered in ice, it boasts massive glaciers, deep fjords, and unique Arctic wildlife. Ilulissat Ice Fjord, one of the world's fastest-moving glaciers, advancing several kilometers each year. Northern Lights. Aurora Borealis. Greenland is one of the best places in the world to witness the dancing green and purple lights of the aurora. The kingdom of whales and polar bears. Greenland's waters are home to various whale species, while polar bears roam the Arctic tundra. Greenland's culture. The Inuit heritage. The people of Greenland are descendants of the Inuit, who have adapted to the harsh Arctic conditions for thousands of years. Their lives revolve around fishing, hunting, and a deep connection with nature. While modernization is increasing, traditional Inuit culture remains alive, and locals take great pride in their ancient heritage. Traditional kayak and dog sledding culture. The kayak was invented by Greenland's ancestors, and is still used for fishing today. One of the world's smallest capitals, Nuuk, Greenland's capital, has only 19,000 residents. But its modern architecture and cultural development are impressive. What's next for Greenland? The big question. Greenland's future remains uncertain. The island could gain independence from Denmark, or it may become the next battleground for global superpowers like the USA, China, and Russia. Climate change could unlock new economic opportunities, but also threatens Greenland's delicate ecosystem. Greenland tourism. Exploring the Arctic wonderland. Greenland is a unique travel destination, completely different from typical vacation spots. Here, you won't find crowded beaches or luxury resorts. Instead, visitors can experience untouched nature, massive ice sheets, and Arctic wildlife. Greenland is one of the world's most isolated and sparsely populated areas, making it perfect for those seeking adventure and unique experiences. Why is Greenland so unique? Greenland's tourism is centered around its natural beauty and Arctic lifestyle. Its vast ice fields, glaciers, fjords, and tundras offer a scenic landscape unlike anywhere else in the world. Due to climate change, more tourists are visiting Greenland before melting ice sheets alter the landscape forever. Instead of traditional hotels, visitors often stay in small village guest houses, or even ice lodges. The warm hospitality of locals and the closeness to Inuit culture make the experience even more special. Top tourist attractions in Greenland: Ilulissat Ice Fjord, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. One of Greenland's most famous natural wonders, where gigantic glaciers break off and drift into the ocean. Visitors can explore the breathtaking landscape via boat tours or helicopter trips. Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, the dance of lights. During the winter months, Greenland is one of the best places in the world to see the northern lights. The clear, pollution-free skies provide an unforgettable display of dancing green, pink, and violet lights. Arctic wildlife watching, whales, polar bears, and musk oxen. Greenland's waters are home to Greenland whales, orcas, and narwhals, while polar bears and musk oxen roam the tundras. Wildlife lovers can experience once-in-a-lifetime encounters with these majestic Arctic creatures, dog sledding and snowmobile adventures. Dog sledding is one of the most iconic Inuit traditions, and today, it's one of Greenland's most popular tourist experiences. Visitors can ride through frozen fjords and snowy landscapes, just like the Inuit people have done for centuries. Arctic expeditions and ice hiking for adventure seekers. Greenland offers extreme sports like glacier climbing, exploring ice caves, and multi-day Arctic expeditions. How to get to Greenland? Greenland is not easily accessible. There are no direct international flights outside of Europe and North America. Most tourists arrive via Copenhagen, Denmark, or Reykjavik, Iceland. There are no highways or railways on the island, so transportation mainly relies on planes, boats, and dog sleds. Challenges of Greenland's tourism industry. Although tourism is growing, Greenland faces several challenges in this sector. Extreme weather. The harsh Arctic climate and long, dark winters limit the tourist season, mainly May to September. High travel costs, flights, accommodation, and food are significantly more expensive than in most travel destinations. Environmental concerns. As climate change accelerates, Greenland must ensure that tourism grows in a sustainable way. The future of Greenland's tourism. As climate change melts the ice, more tourists want to visit Greenland before its natural wonders disappear. The local government aims to regulate tourism, balancing economic growth with environmental preservation. In the coming years, Greenland plans to develop new eco-friendly lodges, sustainable transportation options, and more adventure tours. The goal is to attract luxury travelers and eco-tourists, while maintaining the island's untouched beauty. Greenland as a unique travel destination. Greenland isn't a typical vacation spot, but that's what makes it so special. For those who love nature, adventure, and Arctic landscapes, Greenland offers a once-in-a-lifetime experience. From glaciers and the northern lights to whale watching and Inuit culture, this destination is unlike anything else on Earth. If you're fascinated by wild, untouched landscapes and thrilling adventures, Greenland definitely belongs on your bucket list. The future of Greenland, a land under global spotlight. The coming years will be crucial for Greenland. Will it maintain autonomy, or will it be caught in the geopolitical struggles of major powers? One thing is certain, the world is watching this cold yet truly extraordinary land more than ever.